regular meeting of the City Council. And at this point, I would like to proceed with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you're able, please join us by standing or where you're at. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, before we proceed with our hearing, I just want one quick housekeeping. If you'll just silence your noisemakers and maintain an appropriate environment for our meeting, please. So, at this point, could I please have a roll call?
Councilmember Ding,
Here.
Councilmember Farrar-Rivas,
Here.
Councilmember Gurney,
Here.
Mayor Wellander.
Here.
Thank you, and let the record show that Vice Mayor Lowe is absent.
And for those in the audience, Ms. Lowe is en route. She was held up by another public meeting, and so she will hopefully join us about 6:30. We did have a closed session, but we have nothing to report at this time. Now, I would like to seek approval of our agenda as it is written, or,
I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
okay, further discussion? I think this is a simple one. We'll just go by an all at once. All those in favor? Aye. It passes. All right, this is the time in which the public is given an opportunity to speak on items that are not appearing on the agenda. And to that, we allow at this point up to 10 people to come forward and to speak on items that are not on the agenda. But please be advised that because they have not been publicized, we will not be able to discuss or take any action up here at the dais. A very simple routine. Queue it down the aisle, come up to the podium, just identify yourself, and you'll be given 2 minutes to express your concerns. So again, this is the time for items not appearing on the agenda.
Good evening. My name is Martin Laney, and recently I wrote a letter highly critical of the council to the local papers, both of them. And it was criticizing your decision to appoint Ms. Alilovich as the interim city manager. And I'm here tonight to say that I stand corrected. After the letter was published, she very graciously reached out to me. We had a very cordial conversation. And after her explanation and doing a little bit of additional research, which I should have done in the first place to avoid clickbait, which I fell for, and based on some discussions with some other people in the community who have had a little bit more extensive interaction with her than I have, I fully support your decision. I was wrong, you were right, and you made a good decision. And as much as I think we're going to miss Mr. Guin, who I think we would all agree brought stability, professionalism, and really expert guidance to the city, I think you have an excellent opportunity to appoint someone who will not only continue but build upon his good works in the community. So while I don't speak with those people for those people that I spoke with, along with them, I enthusiastically and unreservedly would support her appointment to the position on a permanent basis. I think you have a real layup there. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments. Appreciate it. Anyone else like to come forward? Okay. Yes.
Hello, council people, staff, and Sonoma public. As you guys know, I'm representing KSVY here today, and we have been working on our strategic plan for several months now. Several people have given their input on it, and we appreciate that. I just want to announce that on May 14th, that's 2 Thursdays from now, we're having a community media forum, and we'd like to see people show up. And we will be laying out not all of our strategic plan, and we'll be gaining information from our audience so we can hope to complete that plan, which will be announced in June completely. Inviting everybody to come, staff and anybody listening or watching or in the public here. And this is an open public forum for everybody to come in and give their input. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry.
And
Good
time.
one. Good one. Vets Building, 6 p.m. Yes. For Thursday, May 14th. There you go.
Great.
Well, I could leave little flyers if you like.
You should go ahead and hand it to the clerk.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Okay, anyone else?
Hello, good evening. I and my wife just wanted to start a conversation about the need to address the e-bikes that are ripping around town very quickly with young children who are not licensed to drive any sort of vehicle riding them. Our 4-year-old was almost clipped in the plaza the other day by a young man going very quickly. There are signs on the plaza that say no bikes, no dogs, etc. Maybe we need to add a disclaimer, something to the effect of no e-bikes, or you will be ticketed or arrested, etc. I think that's a good start. They should also not be on the roads because these children do not know how to drive or obey traffic laws. And then it will be the driver's responsibility if one of these kids should get hit. So I'm not in the city council, nor am I a police officer or anyone who knows what to do, but I would like to get the conversation started so that, these things go really fast. If our son is 4, if he were to have been hit, it could have been catastrophic for how quickly this e-bike was going.
I'm sorry, thank you, and could we just get your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Tanner Sarf.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I see no one galloping up to the podium, so I believe at this point I will close the public comment period. And now we're going to be moving on to dedications. Do we have anyone up here that would like to make a meeting dedication? I see none, so we'll move on to council members' reports and comments. So please, whoever wishes to speak up and begin, so do it.
Oh, okay, good. Let's remember everything I did. It's been a very busy week. So you know what helps when you have that? Because I wasn't in any significant meetings, so not a long to report back, but I think it's always good for folks to know the different things that we attended in the last weeks. So here we go. So of course we had, as many of you may have known, we had I'll go backwards, the ribbon cutting for, and I'm sure you'll mention this as Mayor, for our Tuesday night plaza, so I don't want to steal any of your thunder there. And then I attended the Authors on the Plaza free event, which was fabulous. And also the women's, both Sandra, Councilwoman Lowe, and I attended the Women's Health Symposium that it was at the Hannah Center. And that was really extremely informative. Our council member, John Gurney, was there as well. And were you there, Jack? I didn't see you there, okay. So, but it was really very, very, extremely well attended. I think they raised, it was a benefit, goes as a benefit for Sonoma Valley Hospital. I think they raised $150,000, so that was good. We want to support our local hospital, and they were very much talking about our relationship with UCSF and some of the services, joint services that are being provided through the hospital at UCSF, and I think one of them is for maternity care. I may not be correct about that. There was also a large event this last week for Pets Lifeline, which was also very successful. And I believe, also attended in St. Helena on Sunday the 26th, the Climate Champion event. Congressman Thompson does a climate champion event every year and awards climate champions to each of the counties. He has 5 counties that he is congressperson for, which are Solano, Yolo, Napa, Sonoma, and Lake. No longer Lake going forward, but Lake, or that part of the lake. But so gave out 5 awards. One of them in Sonoma was for the executive director, Richard Dale. So that was very exciting. And then on Saturday 25th, there was a all-day event at the community center celebrating Earth Day. We had speakers there, there was vendors there, vendors showing different types of products so they help you with electrification, with how to deal with your trash. So that was also another very successful event. The other thing that there was on Friday 24th, I attended at Morton Hot Springs. There has been a restoration project going on there to restore the creek. That's been going on for approximately 8 years. The restoration is complete, so we were able to go there. And what was happening was the way the creek was running was there was it had, because of construction and different things, and they put a brick wall up there, it created a creek that was very deep and the banks were very high. And when that happens, the water runs very, very fast. And when the water is running fast, all sorts of things happen that you don't want to happen for your water, and things that happen that are harmful to the local alluvial area and also for fish and wildlife. And so now the creek has ripples, has a pool, and has a bend, as creeks should. And so you can go to Morton Hot Springs and you can go and walk up the creek. And there's a really amazing sign by the creek, or it's kind of, you go into the parking lot for Hot Springs, that tells you all about the restoration and all about the creek. So I encourage people to go now that I think Morton Hot Springs opened this weekend. There you go. That's it.
Thank you, Mayor. Sorry, I missed the zero waste and Sonoma in the meeting because I had my trip visiting China, and I was invited by San Francisco Mayor Dan Lurie and to Shanghai celebrate for the 6th anniversary sister city relationship between San Francisco and Shanghai. It was amazing because this is the California and San Francisco's legacy. So I was very honored to have this opportunity. Even 2 years ago, former Mayor London Breed invited me to join her visit to China, and also we got a promise and 2 pandas to San Francisco Zoo. Right now, still not going on. And this time, the delegation is the folks with the cultural exchange, and also including the tourism. And then hopefully through the city to city as the relationship, people to people relationship, and we can get mutual benefits from this kind of the relationship. That is my simple report. Thank you.
John.
I'm pleased to report I have nothing to report.
Well, I will then pick up where he left off. This goes all the way back to April 15th. So on the 16th, we celebrated a local girl made good, very distinguished poet, Ada Limon, as our Artist of the Year for the city. On the 18th, I was invited to the very popular trash and fashion show at the community center. I felt awkward going in, but when I left, I was glad I went. On the 19th, our adjacent community, the Valley, had an opening of the revised and renovated Larson Park. And I'm happy to say that for those that feel that there are not enough pickleball courts in Sonoma, there are a couple of pickleball courts now in Larson Park, and I think they would welcome you. On the 20th, 4th, we had a ribbon cutting out at the Cornerstone. You may have read or heard about it, that there has been an exchange in change in ownership, and the new owners are breathing new life back into what was a significant destination, and we're cautiously optimistic that they'll be successful and continue to create something that will be a draw both for visitors as well as locals. On the 26th, I was able to observe the very popular petanque tournament. People from all over came and played a game that I still don't quite understand, but they were having great fun, and it was something that I'm very proud that we have that community activity in our small town. On the 30th, we had a very unusual event. We were selected as the starting point for a cross-country charity motorcycle ride being led by a gentleman by the name of Kyle Petty, son of the famous Richard Petty, stock car Hall of Famer. And it's a charity. They have established a camp back in North Carolina for children that have very difficult diseases, chronic, terminal, similar to what Paul Newman had created, I think, on the East Coast as well. And they've raised, I want to say, about $25 million. And I wanted to see them take off from the plaza, but a certain city manager exercised better judgment and said at 6:30 a.m. on a Friday morning would not be a good look to have 150 motorcycles racing down Broadway, so I was overruled. Community event on April 30th was the Polenta Dinner, which is at the Shell Vista Fire Department. A great opportunity for raising money for the Explorer young firefighters. And then that is an announcement for, don't forget about the chicken barbecue that'll be coming up at the end of June or 1st of July. And the last item is I did attend what is called the Water Advisory Committee, and I was given a few talking points. I'm just going to share a couple of facts regarding the water. We should have adequate water for the summer in spite of the fact that it was a little drier than normal. In Lake Mendocino, they have over 84,000 acre-feet of water, and in Lake Sonoma, they have 263,000 acre-feet of water. And for those that go down to Murphy's for trivia night, just to equate, 1 acre-foot of water is 325,900 gallons, in case that comes up. So again, the good news is that we have a good water supply, but we should continue to be good stewards. And with that comment, I'm going to then turn it over to our city manager for her update.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Good evening. I wanted to start off by acknowledging that it's Public Service Recognition Week this week, which fundamentally is about the people who choose these careers in public service and helping our communities to thrive. We're really fortunate to have such dedicated employees here in Sonoma. This week gives us a chance to pause and recognize the people that keep the city running so well every day. As you know, public service is really hard work, and it requires patience and professionalism and great care for our residents, businesses, and for one another. So I just want to appreciate the commitment our employees bring to that responsibility. Every city employee, regardless of their role, contributes to the quality of life that our residents so value here in Sonoma. Residents only get to see like a small part of what the city sees, and I've been here a month now, and I've just been really incredibly impressed that I get to see kind of behind the scenes the dedication and responsiveness that goes into serving the public every day. Just wanted to express my personal gratitude and thanks to the entire city team. Okay, and now on to some fun things. Not that public service isn't fun. You may notice that there's new artwork in the council chambers tonight. These are entries from the 2026 Earth Day photo contest. This year's theme was the power of water. So congratulations to our winners. Leap of Faith was the piece by Leo Dale in the 13 to 20-year-old category, and Mill Creek After the Rain by Jean-Francois Ducareau, I think is the proper pronunciation, but forgive me if that's not accurate. In the adult category. So, and also thank you to the Sonoma Community Center for partnering with us on the exhibit installation, and there will be an artist reception announced soon. Also, there's a Bike to Work Day coming up, so the city is partnering with Sonoma Valley Visitors Bureau and Sonoma Valley Hospital to host this event. an Energizer station on Thursday, May 14th from 7 to 9 a.m. in front of the historic Toscano Hotel Visitor Center. So if you're biking to work that morning, stop by and there'll be refreshments and giveaways and stuff like that. Community members have until this Friday, May 8th, to participate in the first round of public input activities for the citywide historic study and survey project that's on the city's website. These activities are helping to gather community input on Sonoma's history, character, and significant places, and this will be the first of several opportunities for public participation as the study continues. An update on a pavement project. The rehabilitation project in the Friar Creek neighborhood is expected to begin next week, with work planned on Friar Creek Drive, Pickett Street, and Nash Street. Community members should expect temporary traffic delays and detours in the area during construction, and we appreciate everyone's patience as that work gets underway. There's also a cemetery volunteer workday coming up that will take place at the Veterans Cemetery on May 16th. From 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Volunteers are invited to help with the light cleanup and beautification efforts as we prepare the grounds for the upcoming Memorial Day observance on May 25th. Volunteer signups information can be found on the city's website. And last but not least, Music in Place, in partnership with the City of Sonoma, has announced the 2026 lineup for Sonoma Sundays on the Plaza. The free summer concert series at the Grinstead Amphitheater. Series runs Sundays from June through early October and feature a wide variety of musical styles throughout the summer. The full schedule is available both on the city's website and Music in Place's websites. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we'll turn to our city attorney for his comments and update.
Thank you, Mayor Wellander. I do not have any comments this evening, but I will be attending the City Attorney's Conference with Cal Cities next week, so I anticipate a report at our next regular meeting.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to move on then to our presentations, for which we have quite a few this evening. And I have shared this opportunity with my fellow council members to help me present. And so we will start with the first one, which is 6.1, which is the proclamation regarding Affordable Housing Month. And if I could defer.
And do we have anybody here tonight to receive the proclamation? Great. I don't have your names here. I know one of you, but when you come up, you can introduce yourself, young man. All right. Okay. And so I'm really excited to be able to present this proclamation. So we're designating May 2026 as Affordable Housing Month in the city of Sonoma. So whereas affordable housing is one of the cornerstones of healthy, equitable community and essential to preserving the city of Sonoma's diverse character, and whereas our community thrives when all individuals and families, regardless of income, have a safe and affordable place to call home. And whereas each year there are City of Sonoma residents that struggle to secure affordable housing in one of the most expensive housing markets in the nation. And whereas affordable housing is a critical component of a resilient and equitable recovery from disasters such as wildfire. And as the City of Sonoma's Housing Action Plan supports the development of 181 affordable housing units to meet the needs of the low and moderate income residents. Whereas the City of Sonoma is committed to ensuring access to safe, stable, and affordable housing for all members of the community. In over 300 existing affordable units. And whereas the diverse mix of housing options near jobs, schools, and transit support a more vibrant economy, reduces traffic congestion and emissions, and enhances quality of life. And whereas the strength of the City of Sonoma's economic and civic life depends on housing opportunities for people of all ages, abilities, income levels, and backgrounds, allowing them to live and work in the same community. And whereas the nonprofit organizations, housing developers, advocates, and community partners throughout the City of Sonoma are working collaboratively to create and preserve affordable housing, raise public awareness, and promote inclusive solutions. And whereas these partners are encouraged to work together and with the broader community to recognize affordable housing, this is week, but it should be month, through education, outreach, and engagement that highlights solutions and opportunities to meet our shared housing needs. So I'm saying this on behalf of the mayor, Ron Wellander, Therefore proclaim the City of Sonoma on behalf of the City Council, thereby designate the month of May, all month, that's all of the days in May, as Affordable Housing Month. Thank you. Did you want to come up and say something? And then we'll do the photos and all of that.
Wonderful. I'm Caitlin Cornwall, and I'm here representing Sonoma Valley Collaborative. And this is.
And I'm Ryan O'Connell from Generation Housing.
Yay, Ryan.
And so our organizations partner often on housing affordability issues in the city and valley of Sonoma and the county, actually. So we're really grateful to be receiving this proclamation. And what did I want to say? Oh yeah, that we and other organizations partner, as the proclamation says, because changing the housing situation is not an easy thing. It takes a lot of players, a lot of strategies, but we have a really good community of organizations that work on these issues, so that's great. And I also wanted to just announce that next month, Sonoma Valley Collaborative will be spinning off a new nonprofit that will be a mission-driven nonprofit community development corporation for Sonoma Valley that it will be called Sonoma Valley Commons, and you will be hearing more about that.
Very good. Good.
Thank you. Brian, did you want to say anything?
I'm just Caitlin's bodyguard.
Well, you know, we owe a lot to all of the organizations in the valley and in the county and in the city of Sonoma that do the work around affordable housing, because as we all know, it is not, especially those of us that work in the city and on council trying to get work done. It is not an easy task, but we will get there. We will get there. So here, we're going to have the mayor come down for the photo. You want me to go?
One, two, three. Thank you.
All right. Very good. We're going to then move on to 6.2, which is a proclamation as the designation designating the month of May 2026 as Jewish Heritage Month. And I have asked my fellow council member, Sandra, if you would be kind enough, please.
It's my pleasure. Is there someone here to receive this? Hi, guys. Hiding in the back. Okay. So designating May 2026 as Jewish American Heritage Month in the city of Sonoma. And it's a nice short resolution, so I'll read it all. Whereas Jewish Americans have been an important part of the American story and have greatly contributed to all areas of American life and culture since our nation's earliest days, and whereas on April 20th, 2006, the federal government first proclaimed May as Jewish American Heritage Month, saying, as a nation of immigrants, the United States is better and stronger because Jewish people from all over the world have chosen to become American citizens. Whereas Jewish Americans connect to their Jewish identity in many ways, including culturally, ethnically, religiously, and through Jewish ethics and values, creating a community that is racially, socially, politically, and economically diverse. And whereas we recognize Jewish American commitment to civic engagement and that the city of Sonoma has been enriched by Jewish institutions such as Congregation Shir Shalom and its educational, cultural, and community building initiatives. Therefore, let it be proclaimed by the mayor on behalf of the City Council that we hereby designate the month of May 2026 as Jewish American Heritage Month in appreciation of the achievements and contributions made by members of our Jewish American community. And be it further proclaimed that the City of Sonoma will continue efforts to confront anti-Semitism and hate impacting the Jewish community, support education about the diversity of our Jewish American community, and integrate Jewish American culture into year-round programs, activities, and ceremonies. So that is the proclamation. Just a few editorial comments, if you will, and my apologies for being late. I was at a LAFCO meeting, which went on forever. So I'm very proud to be able to read this proclamation and honor, especially, I heard that Shir Shalom celebrated, 30-year anniversary, which is amazing. I lived here, I've been here over 30 years, obviously, and I remember when it just started. And, I will say that, there is a Jewish heritage in Sonoma. It's small, but mighty. And I've been honored to be able to speak at the congregation and work with Rabbi Steve on many things. And it's a wonderful community, and I'm just so happy to be able to present this on behalf of the mayor.
And if you'd like to come forward and say a word, you are more than welcome to.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Armando Yosef Hernandez, and I am a board member at Congregation Shir Shalom.
Hi, my name is Lewis, and I'm
Excitement.
Hi, my name is Lewis, and I'm a student at Congregation Shir Shalom.
How you doing? Sean Bellack. Great to be here. Thank you, council and mayor, for this great proclamation. It's really important to us, especially during our 30-year anniversary, and we really appreciate the support. As you said, we're small but mighty. We're continuing to grow. We have a really thriving community that includes the Hebrew school that my son Lewis is and my daughter Emma both attend. So we love being in Sonoma, and we really appreciate this. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, quickly moving to 6.3 is going to be again a third proclamation for the National Travel and Tourism Week. And with that, my fellow Jack, please.
Thank you, Mayor. It's a great opportunity for me to represent you. Proclamation designating the May 3rd through the 9th, 2026 as National Travel and Tourism Week in the city of Sonoma. Whereas the travel industry is essential to the success of every industry and will continue to be critical part of the city of Sonoma's economy, development, and workforce. And whereas the travel is an economic powerhouse for every state and the designation across the country, with the economic output of the $3 trillion US, supporting 15 million American jobs. And whereas travel spending the support vibrant and the safe communities in Sonoma and across the United States by generating $92 billion in state and local tax revenue in 2025 to support essential services such as education, emergency response, public safety, and more. Whereas the travel enables the success for all industries, including manufacturing, agriculture, defense, and healthcare, and more, by driving sales growth innovation, education, and operation that empower our economy, our nation, and the city of the Sonoma. Whereas Americans in the travel industry cannot be globally competitive without maximizing the growth in domestic leisure, business, and international inbound travelers, increasing the travel to and within United States drives our economy to the more prosperous future and connects America. And whereas 1 in every 11 U.S. jobs depend on the travel, making it a critical driver of Americans' economy and the force for connections and opportunities. And whereas the travel is an essential industry, and we must continue to communicate that on the road, travel leads to economic growth, benefits the businesses, fosters the mutual understanding, and connects the nation. Now, therefore, be a proclamation. I, Ron Wellander, Mayor of the City of the Sonoma, on behalf of the City of the Council, hereby designated on May 3rd to the 9th, 2026 as a National Travel and Tourism Week in the City of the Sonoma, and I urge the citizens of the Sonoma to join me in recognize the essential role of visitor industry play in the City of the Sonoma. Thank you so much, Mayor, for great opportunity.
Thank you. So is there a representative here that would like to step forward and speak briefly?
You're going to hear more from me soon. So thank you very much, Councilmember Ding, for reading that out. And thank you so much for recognizing travel and tourism in Sonoma. My name is Tim Zahner, Sonoma Valley Visitors Bureau. Travel is important. I'm going to tell you more right after the next message. So thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
come on,
you are.
John. Let's go.
Thank you. All right.
What about you, John?
All right, wrapping up the fourth and final proclamation, we have May 2026 is Bike Month.
Oh.
And I have asked the most avid bike rider up here at the dais to please share this proclamation.
Is there somebody here to receive? Okay, don't go away. All right. First, let me put on my city council safety hat.
Oh, that's good.
So, bike to work, month and day. I'm going to summarize the whereases here. So the Sonoma City Council has officially proclaimed May 2026 as Bike Month and May 14th, 2026 as Bike to Work Day in Sonoma. The proclamation highlights the many benefits of bicycling, including healthier lifestyles, safer streets, reduced traffic, pollution, and support of local tourism and the economy, once again. The council also recognizes that the Sonoma County Bicycle Coalition for more than 2 decades has worked to promote bike safety throughout the city, throughout the valley, and the county. And there are many community programs that are presented. Residents and visitors are encouraged to join the month's rides this month, and events and activities celebrating biking and active transportation. if you buy gas, I think you'll find bicycles are very enticing. The Sonoma City Council has proclaimed May, well, I just said that, so I won't say it again, but May 14th is the critical day, as we should all be out there on our bikes, safety first, and the proclamation highlights the bicycling's benefits, again, that we've talked about, and most importantly, the mayor, Ron Wellander, on behalf of the City Council, designates May 2026 as Bike Month and May 14th, 2026 as Bike to Work Day in the City of Sonoma, and urges all residents to participate. That's an order by the mayor to participate. And he has signed this proclamation, and he will present this. And so if you would like to say a few words, we'd love to hear what's on your mind.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I'm Eris Weaver, Executive Director of the Sonoma County Bicycle Coalition. I'm joined by my board member, Cynthia De La Fuente. And actually, you should probably be up here, too. Tim Zahner's on my advisory council. Thank you for the proclamation and your participation in Bike Month. As a city manager, I'd already mentioned the Energizer station that you have happening. We have several other things happening throughout the month, only 2 of them that I'll mention right now. The rest can all be found at bikesonoma.org. On May 20th, we are having a bike movie night showing 3 documentaries depicting cycling, how cycling is of benefit to people of all ages and abilities, ethnicities, and parts of the country. And then on May 31st, we're having a great big bike festival called Pedal Fest. That'll be an all-day outdoor affair with all kinds of bikes and games and activities to happen. One of the things that I always love about coming to Sonoma, and I hang out on the plaza, is how many pedestrians and cyclists I see right around the plaza downtown, whether it's kids riding home from work or tourists walking around shopping. And all I can imagine is, what would it be like if that density of bike and ped traffic was around the entire city? Would that not be cool? What would it take to get there? So I leave you with that potential goal in mind, and thank you again for the proclamation. Do you want to say anything?
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay, 2 pictures. So first, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
And wrapping up the 6th series of this portion, we have now at 6.5 the annual report from the Sonoma Valley Visitors Bureau and Tourism Improvement District. And we welcome you, Tim. Please share.
Thank you. It's been so long. Thank you again. So good to see you guys. My name is Tim Zahner with the Sonoma Valley Visitors Bureau, and there's 2 presentations. This is representing the Visitors Bureau. The second one will be from the Tourism Improvement District. I'm joined from the Visitors Bureau by our chair, Chris Sorensen of Caddis Wines, and he was famously featured in a New York Post article today. So aren't you fancy? Okay. Quick thing people often ask us is, who is the Visitors Bureau? We are a private nonprofit organization like the Chamber of Commerce, and we promote visitation to Sonoma Valley. We support local hospitality businesses, and we're also a community resource for the residents. We have 2 full-time staff, myself and Jose, 6 part-time staff, 25 plus volunteers. We're always looking for new volunteers. And we have 10 plus contractors and vendors, most of whom are in Sonoma Valley. So what do we do? Most people know about the visitor centers, when Toscano and down at Jacuzzi Winery. We run SonomaValley.com, If you text 707-996-1090 and ask us a question, Jose's phone will beep and he'll have to answer it. We manage advertising, social media, podcasts. We have field guides, history info, arts information, and more. And we also get visitors here and into local businesses. We also do events. We do 2 main events, the lighting of the plaza and the Sonoma Spooktacular. Lighting the plaza is always a Saturday before Thanksgiving, and Sonoma Spooktacular is always on October 31st. We run the community event calendar. We do have an open house this Friday from 11 to 1. It is at the Toscano. Ribbon cutting is happening. There will be big scissors. It's going to be a good time, and some food and some treats. We also, people don't know this, we sell bus passes to a lot of locals, and we're also the #1 sales site for regional parks passes in Sonoma Valley. We have not gotten a plaque for that yet. It's because we're also the only place to sell regional parks passes in Sonoma Valley, but I think we should get a plaque for that. We're also the lost and found for the plaza. You'd be amazed what people lose. And then we also manage the plaza marquee, helping nonprofits get the word out about the different events that are happening there. So who do we partner with? Well, first of all, I want to thank the city of Sonoma. Thank you so much for being our landlord and for partnering with us and California State Parks to move into the Toscano Hotel. It's been a huge success. We also partner with the County of Sonoma, providing visitor services, and the Sonoma County Tourism Board, upon which I sit, and California State Parks. And there's nobody here, but they're wonderful people to work with. And then we work with the usual suspects, Sonoma Valley Chamber, Sonoma Valley Vintners and Growers, and then a lot of the different nonprofits and allied organizations. I had a good meeting with Sonoma Family Meal this past week, talking about what they're doing and what they hope to bring to the Valley. So how are we doing? At the Toscano Hotel, visitor center traffic is up 37%. Location, location, location. It has been a very good move for us. Lodging occupancy, though, the city lodging occupancy has been up 6.5%. The Valley has been up 7%. Sonoma County has been down 2.8%, so we are doing slightly better, well, many percentage points better than the rest of the county, and that's a good thing. How does this translate to Sonoma? Hotels and sales taxes account for more than half of general fund revenues. That's from the city budget. So tourism is very important to the city of Sonoma. It's a major industry here. Transient occupancy tax in calendar year 2025 was $6.6 million, and that was up 15% from 2024. It's calendar year numbers, so you might look differently on your budget if you're looking at fiscal year. For Sonoma County 2025, this is the county numbers. There were 22,000 jobs. Visitor spending was $2.24 billion, and state and local tax revenues $231 million. The cool thing about tourism is that it's really taxed highly. Every activity a tourist does is taxed. I say cool thing because for government, that means there's a lot of things that happen. You eat out, you buy gas, you stay at a hotel. There's a lot of government revenue derived from tourism. Good and bad. Thinking ahead, what are we thinking about for Sonoma Valley? Well, we're going to continue to encourage and support local small businesses. We'd like to work on transportation improvements like the circulator shuttle, connections up Valley.
That's nice.
Transfers from San Francisco, and improve pedestrian and bike connectivity. We'd also like to encourage events that can be demand drivers, especially in the arts and culinary world, and then promote the attributes that can sustain visitor economy, like wine, food, outdoors, culture, and history. And you're right, Councilmember Ding, I don't know if Traintown is going to get the smart station anytime soon, but if you use the right AI generation tool, maybe we'll get a better connection there. So that is my quick introduction to the Visitors Bureau. Thank you so much for your partnership on that. And again, our visitor, I'll go back one real quick. Can we go back real quick? Sorry, Monique, it's gone. Here we go. Friday from 11 a.m. to 1:30 is our open house and ribbon cutting. So please stop by if you can. Okay? Now go to the next one.
Yeah, I think we all have an invite for 11:30, but I will.
Because
That's when the
I
ribbon
wanted you to
cutting
get there in
happens.
time for me to have everything set and have everything right.
Great, okay.
But you
Of
can show up.
course.
And do that.
Of course.
If you want to show
I
up,
will
though, it's
change
from
that.
11 to 1:30 is the time we say we're open.
Okay.
It's an open house. Just stop by when you can. Bring a casserole. Don't bring a casserole. We got it.
And
okay.
some salt.
For the Sonoma Tourism Improvement District, every year I want to do these on separate dates just to keep them separate to explain the difference because people confuse it. But here we are. I'm going to do it, and we'll go through there. Joining me from the Tourism Improvement District, though, Norm Krug, Dan Parks. Norm is with the Sonoma Valley Inn, and Dan Parks is with the Inn at Sonoma. So, okay, So what is the Tourism Improvement District? It's an assessment district in the city limits of Sonoma, and the city has a representative on the board. Councilmember Gurney is our representative on the board, and then the city manager can attend as well. The TID collects a 2% assessment separate from and on top of the city TOT. Currently, the city TOT is 13%, so the total lodging tax and fees is 15% on someone staying within the city limits of Sonoma. The funds are used to promote visitation to Sonoma, marketing, advertising, PR, assistance, and sales. And we also support events that encourage visitation. I'll talk about that in a second. And then it supports events and programs that provide a reason to stay longer. So we were formed in 2012 with the goal of increasing occupancy and room revenues. And increasing occupancy has the benefit of increased patronage at other Sonoma businesses. So this stands to reason, if I can get you to spend the night in the city of Sonoma, I can probably get you to go to a restaurant, I could probably get you to go to a tasting room, and I could probably get you shopping. And if you're only here for a day, it's a little bit harder. If I get you here for 2 nights, it's a lot easier. So the programs supported include advertising, marketing, meeting sales, funds for events and programs, and services. It's also important to note most ads people here in Sonoma Valley don't see. We do not spend money advertising locally. We want to get people from 50 miles away to come here because that is who is most likely to yield an overnight visit. The TID also provides funds for different programs throughout the year. This is an example of them, everything from Lighted Tractor Parade, 4th of July celebration, Quetzalon's Winter and Spring Showcase Concert, the Public Star Parties, the Jazz Society, holidays on the Northern Frontier. We go through a granting process. It opens up in August. We usually have the grants decided by October. And the goal is to encourage visitation in the off-season. And then for meetings, we have a meetings team, and their job is to go out there and get meetings, typically to come midweek, off-peak. Midweek is Sunday through Thursday. Off-peak is November through April. And these are an example of some of the meetings we've been able to bring to the city limits of Sonoma to increase funds here. So the future of the TID, no train on this one. We're continuing to support marketing, advertising, and promotions. Going to keep looking for the grants. We want to continue to collaborate with partners in the region. And most importantly, be a good community partner. And I want to talk about that. Oftentimes, I talk about destination because that's my job. It's my job to say there's this destination. The destination rests on top of the community. And the community is Sonoma. And we always want to be a good partner. I know when I speak on behalf of TID and the Visitors Bureau, we live here, we work here. We do want to be a good partner, and we will continue to do so. So thank you so much, and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Tim. Any questions for the presenter? No.
I do. I have a
Oh,
quick
you
question.
do, please.
I have a quick question. So, just historically speaking, in the early days, which was the first train coming to Sonoma County? Was it coming to the city of Sonoma, or was it going up the corridor?
The first train?
Yeah.
You're asking me a history question in Sonoma, and you know
Yeah.
there's like 5 different competing historical societies, and now I'm going to get in trouble. I believe the first trains to Sonoma probably came up, and I don't think they came all the way to the depot, to up here until later. I think they stopped south of town. I could be wrong. I know I'm going to get a correction. Patricia, Robert, everyone else, George is listening. I'm so sorry I'm getting this wrong. But I think the first trains were by the bay down there.
And I'm just thinking of, because the smart trains are already going up the corridor, like, we should be using the history of when, the first trains were coming up from, San Francisco to this area as, like, how, to encourage
I
that
would
to
really, I mean,
occur.
we might all be gone from this earth by the time it actually happens, but it'd be wonderful if the smart train or any kind of train would come towards Sonoma, because that would be a fantastic game changer for us.
Yeah. Considering you were just
Yeah,
at the LAFCO meeting.
Yeah.
But I just want you to know at every single SCTA meeting, I bring that up. And also that we need to have like a shuttle as part of the service until we get an actual engine on the tracks. A shuttle from, the plaza or somewhere to Petaluma would be very easy, and then we can go from there. And I'm working on something, by the way.
Okay.
I'll let you know what it is.
Okay, I'd like to talk to you
We're
about
all gonna take a bus and jump on a train. I've got things going on in my head. We're gonna make it happen.
Great.
So it'll be fun. Scary. John says it's.
And my
Yeah,
only-
but that's why he has to wear a helmet. Things.
My parting comment is simply thank you for mentioning that motorcycle gang that came into town took out all the rooms in the Sonoma Lodge for an entire week.
It was a
So-
good economic impact.
It was a good economic event. So there you have it. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sometimes you have regrets when you delegate tasks and you feel like you've been left out. And I realize now that I have no proclamation. However, I do have a little bit of recognition that I want to state, if I could. I know that the calendar weeks are shared with many different organizations. And it was brought to my attention that May 3rd through the 9th is Municipal Clerks Week. And we have a very competent clerk who unfortunately is recovering from knee surgery. But equally as competent and supportive as we have a deputy clerk who happens to be at the controls to my right. And I would like to acknowledge her at this point for your significant contribution to Sonoma City Hall. We appreciate your quiet, focused, and productive duty, as well as which is a significant value to the city. And I'm going to brag a little bit now. She, through a lot of diligence and hard work, has recently obtained her CMC, which is the Certified Municipal Clerk, as well as the CPMC, which is California Professional Municipal Clerk. So on the part of the council, we would like to say thank you, and we appreciate your hard work. Okay, now on to the consent calendar, and we'll let people leave because apparently they don't care about our consent. So these are items that are going to be looked at all at once. We have the opportunity to pull them if we wish to have further discussion, but they'll be taken up as a whole with one motion. So at this point, would anyone like to pull anything that is currently on the consent calendar? Seeing nothing, I will then request that there be a motion for accepting the consent calendar.
Move to approve consent.
Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. Comments?
Public comment?
I'm sorry. Yes, public comment, please, if there is anyone, regarding the consent calendar of items 7.2 and 7.3. Thank you, Mr. Attorney, for reminding me. Seeing none, may we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Ding,
Aye.
Councilmember Farrar-Rivas,
Aye.
Councilmember Gurney,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lowe, Mayor Wellander.
Yes,
Thank you. The motion carries unanimously.
thank you. Now on to our regular calendar, dominated by our community director. We will be looking at 9.1, which is the 2026 Planning Commission Annual Work Plan.
Sorry.
No, no problem. It's all yours.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I have two items before you. We'll start with the first one, which is the Planning Commission Annual Work Plan. So we started this a couple of years ago, and I started as the Community Development Director, and it helps organize a lot of our goals at City Council as well as Planning Commission, and kind of identifies the priorities for staff to work on during the fiscal year and calendar year. So in this case, we're doing calendar year work plans. So on April 16th, Planning Commission recommended that this lovely work plan that's before you, and as attached, be approved. And if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer. It is basically the 2025 work plan continuation with one additional item added, and that is the night sky ordinance being added. It's been a conversation by a lot of people, and it's something that has risen to the top of wanting to deal with sooner than later. Our lighting ordinance currently is outdated and needs to be modified. We did accomplish a lot of things last year. We continued to streamline our city permit process, and we modified a lot of our workflows. We started the citywide historic resources inventory, and we adopted the ordinances for specialized housing as well as rezoning the identified site. So implementation of the housing element is definitely still a priority for us. So with that, if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Any questions from the dais? No? We can-
Yeah, I do have.
Oh, please.
Okay. Thank you, Jennifer, for comprehensive. My question is, and we have the plan that is based on calendar year. And when we mentioned in the budget and the funding, that is the fiscal year. And the fiscal year, we covered the 2 years. How you can, the match, if anything the missing for previous fiscal year, and just tell me a little bit.
Sure. So what we try to do is, one, we set calendar year goals at City Council, so we're taking that into consideration. And then also, what are our priorities? Again, like I said, some of them go from year to year. And some of that identifies where do we need to ask for funding. And so, and then other things, we already have the funding. And so that's what's identified on that right-hand column is there are things funded. Part of the budget cycle in this next round is the ask is going to be around the housing element implementation needs, as well as maybe some assistance with the code updates that are going to be needed once we adopt a general plan. So that's how we look at, all right, these are our goals. We've already set them out, but then we're going to have a budget ask at mid-year potentially if it's broader than what we already have funding for. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Yeah, thank you. My another question is, you put a lot of the project under the priority. I'm wondering, do you have any ranking or do you have those kind of the matrix and see which one is number one, number two?
There's not a number one, number two. So everything that's in green is our current goals that we are working on and that we've created ad hocs if necessary to kind of, if there's an interest from the Planning Commission to assist in that work. And so obviously the general plan update is top priority and we're working diligently on that as well as the code updates that would go along with that. Then we have some other code updates. So right now, our associate planner, Jacob Dunn, is working on the sign ordinance update. So we should have that probably by this summer, and you'll hear from him then. And then we also will probably have, we have some housing element requirements, an update to our density bonus ordinance and our accessory dwelling unit ordinance. And our associate planner, Diane Levine, is working on that as well. So we divvy it out and we try to accomplish everything that we can. The sign ordinance has been lagging and continuing on longer than we had expected, but we're getting there. So as you know, sometimes things are coming up that are taking over priority, and we shift accordingly. But we're hoping this year to really get into more of the last two items that were on the list. That one was added last year, and the one that's added this year around the vacant structures. And the need to address that, and then also our night sky.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm wondering if we have enough staff and the capability, or staff and hours, because so many things you need to cover.
There's a lot of things.
Yeah.
But we're getting it.
Thank you.
Anyone else? A couple of quick ones. On the new item, I'm curious. We have not had a night sky ordinance to date. We have a certain amount of light pollution now. So the question is the ordinance that we're going to be compiling, everything will be future oriented. Is there any expectation about trying to upgrade what we currently have in terms of existing lighting that we have in town?
So one of the things that we discussed is there is a lot of lighting that's not covered in our code. A lot of people like to put up lights on trees, for example. And so how do we move that forward into the future? Are we grandfathering everything in as today? But if somebody asks for a change or a new electrical permit, that's when we would look to implement our new regulation. So as somebody applies for something new, then we're going to implement it versus going after everybody that has, let's say,
Correct.
uplights on their landscaping. So that's one of the things that we're going to work through, along with our code is very interesting and has
Please define that.
the lighting can only reflect off the wall at a 2-foot candle. Yeah, so just little things like that that don't really reflect current standards of how we measure light. Also, the fact that we've now moved into a whole new type of light. So we're going to take into account, looking at temperature of light. How does that impact our mitigation pattern, our migration patterns, things like that.
Okay, great. Then on the last sheet, which is long-term goals of the special use standards, planning area standards, and historic preservation infill overlay zone, just laid out, not alphabetical, is it a priority, or they're just all equally weighted as far as what you're hoping to get to long-term?
So they're on my long-term list because they've been brought up. However, with the general plan update, we are going to need to do a pretty comprehensive code update. And as part of that, all of those 3 things are going to be part of it.
Okay.
So one of the things that we'll probably pull up to the front is going to be the planning area standards and whether to even have them at all anymore. It's a question.
Okay, great, great. And that's it for my questions, and I can't comment until I bring it back. Oh, please.
So I have one. I see that the inclusionary housing update is in the group of things that were goal for 2025 but are in process. And is also the one I bet it's within one of these, but just let me know where, if it is, the affordable housing by design.
So we have in the very front, we don't call it affordable housing by design, we're calling it missing middle.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay. So with that, I'd like to open it up for the public if they'd like to come forward and make comments on this item.
Under affordable housing, got it. Okay, good.
And I see no movement, so I'll bring it back to the dais for comments and/or possible motion.
I move approval.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Further comments? I will make one. I love your focus on trees. Thank you. Clerk, may we have a roll call?
Councilmember Ding,
Aye.
Councilmember Farrar-Rivas,
Aye.
Councilmember Gurney,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lowe,
Aye.
Mayor Wellander.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion carries unanimously.
Dude, it was the helmet.
All right. Different item, same presenter.
Okay. Thank you for that intro. All right. So item number 2 is the Historic Preservation Commission annual work plan. If you remember, last year we modified the Design Review Historic Preservation Commission to just focus on historic preservation. And with that, we are doing our first work plan and really trying to identify where their interests lie and moving initiatives forward with historic preservation. Obviously, we already have some projects moving forward that will need their attention. And so with that, we will continue to utilize them for the general plan update. So that's a priority again. We have a specific element on cultural resources. And then we also are in the process of doing a historic resource survey and context statement. So their job as the Historic Preservation Commission will be to review that. Also, the Preservation Commission has the ability to list historic structures and make recommendations to the City Council for listing of historic districts. So as part of this survey, there is the potential that districts will be identified, as well as potential historic resources. So that is going to be something that I'll need to focus on. Then something that is of interest to a lot of them is more around historic preservation, education, engagement, and collaborating with our historical societies and working through what is the kind of information that we want to share and promote within our community, and how do we want to engage more. So that's one of the things. And then lastly is kind of a combo with the Planning Commission. We're going to need, after the general plan update, when we are focusing more on the ordinance itself, is to get the historic preservation section updated, creating more opportunities for incentives, as well as defining more of what the regulations are going to be moving forward. So that is their work plan.
Very good. So, questions, please.
We have a lot of trucks, pins, banners, whatever, with all different dates on them as far as when the city of Sonoma began. When I first joined the council, I had 3 different badges, all of which had a different logo, a different year, and everything. So it sort of made it look like we were just kind of making it up as we go along, as they say, and that didn't look too good. So I'm just bringing that up. I know it's going to be addressed somehow, and it's actually a budget issue, because once you start changing logos and emblems on trucks and whatever, there's a cost factor. But I just think that we need to be very consistent with the public in terms of when the city of Sonoma began, and and historically, and I'm hoping the commission could also, when they identify things, that they sort of, we make a determination about it, because it is really confusing out there.
So that is something that our deputy city clerk has been researching around the logos and what has actually been submitted to the state for our logo. I don't know what the outcome is yet, but with that, we do have multiple dates because we became a city, and then the decision was to not be a city anymore because some people at that time wanted some benefits, so they redid the city after that. So that's why we have some fun dates. But I can talk more about that at another time when I actually can remember the exact dates.
I know it's not really germane to this particular presentation, but it was just something that I thought, well, I'll mention it because it could be, when they're looking at benchmarks for the historical part of the city. I mean, we should have an answer, and people on this commission should be prepared to, when people ask them, well, when was, tell me about the history of Sonoma. Not just identifying, well, that's a cool old house, let's protect it, but, what is the actual historic marker?
So one of the projects is that context statement, and that's what's going to provide history during our different periods of history. But one of the goals that I have is to update our website. We actually have nothing about historic preservation on our website. So I've been working with Sarah to try to start adding some things here and there. So.
Good.
Yeah, just how does the commission and how do you yourself coordinate with the league?
So it's not just the league, but both organizations. We, so these projects that I have coming down, we send out information to them to share with their membership. So we just had the community workshop for the first public meeting on the historic resource survey and context statement. And so we sent a lot of that information through them. We also invite them to participate in stakeholder meetings. So when we did the review of the historic resources element, I actually did it not just with the Preservation Commission, but also stakeholders, and invited representatives from our 2 societies, as well as state parks and the tribes.
Great, thank you.
My question is, you mentioned about an inventory list. Do we have an existing inventory list?
We do.
So that means that we need update. Another concern is our historic buildings and how much an impact for our affordable housing, how to balance or something like that. Is it really bother you, or it doesn't matter, or yeah, that is maybe this question is not proper way. I just concern. Yeah.
No, I understand what you're saying. So right now we have vacant lots and we have other means to provide affordable housing. When we talk about affordable housing too, it's not just, or even historic, it's not just the big beautiful ones in town. It could be other areas as well. What we try not to do is financially impact them by owning that. So we would build in, that's one of the things that we want to build in, is an understanding for like a reasonable accommodation for like financial considerations are sometimes built into preservation ordinances. So that's one opportunity so that we can take that into account. But as far as creating new affordable housing, I don't see the need to demolish our culture and our historic resources to provide that.
Thank you.
All right, on this side. All right, two quick questions. Picking up on previous comment, we have a tremendously rich history in Sonoma, and we also have a rich history of historic characters living. And I see them as resources, and unfortunately they go beyond just the two formal ones, and I just would like to question whether or not we're taking full advantage of our local resources that will help with all these so-called historic tasks that we're going to be doing.
So I've worked with, so we have, I would call local historians outside of the organizations as well. And so I have conversations with them. They did come to the meeting. I also have family members, local family members that, a gentleman that his family built one of the buildings on West Napa, sent me an original photo, and just gave his piece of history in that.
Great.
That's not something that gets into the level of detail that will go into a historic context statement, but some of the information is, so that's a local builder potentially that maybe have built other things, and so we'll document the names. And so there'll be continue to be opportunities for community input on the people of Sonoma, the families of who built, who did a lot economically or put their stamp on our community.
And my last kind of question is, I know that the trigger for historic properties is 45 years. And I'm concerned about certain subdivisions that exist that I scratch my head as far as their historic significance. Will we have any latitude on that, or is that timeline going to automatically encumber that property?
So, I wouldn't use the word encumber, but anything that's 45 years or older is going to be part of this survey. So all the structures of that age are going to be looked at, and whether or not they contribute to our history. So that's the importance of building a context statement, because we're going to have a context statement for post-World War, right? And so what does that look like? What's important? Doesn't necessarily mean the 1970s development is part of that history or a major contributor to us developing as a city. So that is part of the conversation. It'll be presented as such in the conversation. It doesn't mean that the city needs to take a stance on listing that, but we do want to have a determination of eligibility because our goal is to not require HREs anymore.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Do you say not require attorneys?
HREs, the historic resource evaluations.
Oh, HRE. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
I
say
won't
that,
get rid
did
of
I?
him.
Historic resource about, how did I? Yeah.
All right. If there aren't any more questions from the dais, I would like to open it up to the public. And seeing no movement of the two, thank you for being here. I'd like to see if there's a motion here at the front.
I
I
move
move-
to approve. Oh, yeah, you go. Yeah. I second. Yeah.
Okay, further discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Ding,
Aye.
Councilmember Farrar-Rivas,
Aye.
Councilmember Gurney,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lowe, Mayor Wellander.
Yes,
Thank you. The motion carries unanimously.
great.
All right, wonderful.
And in the interest of wrapping up this meeting, we have agenda item 9.3. And this is giving guidance to the mayor on making the right recommendation. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to our deputy clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. This item is related to the Sonoma County Mayors and Council Members Association and the Sonoma County City Selection Committee. So at their upcoming meeting on May 14th, the Mayors and Council Members Board meeting will be considering an appointment to the Airport Land Use Commission. This is for one seat. The term is for 4 years, and it's filling the expiring term of Todd Lands from Cloverdale. A call for interest, letters of interest, was sent out on February 25th with an original deadline of March 29th. There were no letters submitted at that time, so it was extended to April 6th. There was one letter of interest received from Ariel Kelly from the city of Healdsburg. So tonight, council is being asked to provide Mayor Wellander direction or his designee on how to proceed with the nomination at that meeting when it comes before the city selection committee. So with that, I will turn it back over to council for discussion and direction.
Very good, thank you. So, please, comment.
Approve Ariel. Ariel Kelly,
Yeah.
yes.
We
She's-
together, yes, good.
Well, I think too, it makes sense where the location of the airport is relative to Healdsburg versus further away, so very good. So I have my direction.
Yeah.
And with that, I'll go further by saying, we're done.
Okay. Awesome. That is, look at the time.
This meeting is done.